Welcome back, everyone. Today marks the beginning of our platform analytics series, and we are starting with the foundation of everything the data sources. This is where your metrics, calculations, and visualizations truly begin. In our introduction, we talked about core building blocks of platform analytics, the indicators and breakdowns. Before we create any data sources, let's make sure we clearly understand these two concepts. An indicator is what you measure. For example, number of incidents created. And for that indicator, we need an indicator source, which defines where the data comes from, the pool of records used for the calculations. And a breakdown defines how you segment that data. For instance, grouping by priority or assignment group. For these breakdowns, we need to create a breakdown source which defines the list of values used for that segmentation, such as priority levels. Now that we are clear on these basics, let's move into the system and see where to find data sources. In application, search for data sources. You will see this data sources module under Platform Analytics Administration application. Now let's start with our indicator source first. Let's take the example incidents created newly daily. This defines the set of all incident records that we will use in our metrics. Click New under Indicator Sources. First, we have Basic Details section. Enter an appropriate name for this indicator source. In the description, write something short and meaningful. Next, let's move on to the Valid for Indicator Frequency section. This defines when and how often the data will be collected from this source. In the calendar, select the standard calendar. In the valid for frequency field, choose daily since we want to track incidents created every day. You can choose weekly, bi-weekly, 4 weeks, monthly and bi-monthly based upon your requirement. Now let us understand what these fields mean. When a data is collected, the system calculates the score for that day, saving it as historical records and doesn't modify the past scores. If you rerun a collection job, it only overwrites the score for the same day, ensuring consistency and accuracy. Now coming to the source section, this defines where the data is coming from. You can select an existing report or directly choose a facts table. For our example, let's go with facts table incident since that's where all the incident data resides. Next, under conditions, define which record should be included. We will set to create it on today, so we only collect records created today. Use the preview button to verify how many records matching your condition before saving. So there are 0 records created today. Now below in the records view section, we have list view. This determines which column appears when user drill down into records from dashboards. Fields like number, short description, state and priority. These are the available views for incident table. We'll go with the default view. Go to the records collection tab. Here you will see an option called override records collection. Once enabled, another field appears, maximum number of fetched records. This limits how many records are retrieved and helps maintain performance when working with the large datasets. We will leave this unchecked for now. Now save the record. Once saved, scroll down to see new related list appears. The first one is indicators. This is where you attach the specific metrics that will use this data pool. For example, number of incidents created or average age of incident. Each indicator automatically inherits the condition and logic you define here. We will see how to create an indicator in the later on videos. The performance analytics text index configurations. This is an advanced option for analyzing unstructured text like short descriptions or comments using PA text analytics. Now we have run diagnostic in related links. When clicked, this system checks whether the selected table is valid, the indicator is active or not, and all the relations are correctly configured or not. It then generates a diagnostic report displayed under diagnostic results related list. And that completes our indicator source. It defines exactly the data pool or metrics we'll using. In this case, incidents created today. Now let's move to the breakdown sources. This determines how we will group or categorize our collected data inside dashboards. We will create one called incidents created daily grouped by priority. In order to create a breakdown source, first search for data sources and click on breakdown sources under data sources. Click New in Breakdown Sources. Now give an appropriate name for your breakdown source. In the description, write something short and meaningful. For example, mention that this groups new incidents based on their priority. Now coming to the source section, select facts table as choice table. This table stores all the system choice list, perfect for breakdowns like priority, state, or category. In the field, select SysID. That's the unique identifier for each and every choice. Now define the choice condition. These conditions filter out only the choices we need. Set table equals to task and element equals to priority. Now click on preview to see number of records matching the condition. So these are the values available under priority field in task table, which are also inherited into incident table. Now let's continue with our next field, label for unmatched. This lets you define a custom label for any records that doesn't match the breakdown values. For example, like others. Now let's save this record. After saving this breakdown source, under related list, we have breakdowns as a related list. It shows all the breakdown components that uses this sources element like priority 1, 2, 3, and 4. We will see how to add or create a breakdowns in later on sessions. Element security list. This controls which user roles can view which breakdown elements. Helpful when you need to restrict visibility for certain groups. There is also a run diagnostic button in breakdown sources too. When clicked, the system checks whether the selected table is valid or not, the link breakdown is active or not, and the relationships are correctly configured or not. And it generates a report displayed right below in the related list. And that's your breakdown source. It defines how the data is grouped, in our case by priority. To summarize, the indicator source defines what to count, new incidents created, and the breakdown sources defines how to group them by priority. Together, they form the foundation for every metrics in platform analytics. In the next session, we will see these exact sources to create automated indicator, the actual metrics that calculates value and feeds your dashboards. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next one.